Officials in the United Kingdom and Germany have pushed back against speculation that there has been some kind of diplomatic disagreement between the two countries over a British airbridge operation that is delivering next-generation light anti-tank weapons, or NLAWs, to Ukraine. UK Royal Air Force C-17 cargo planes began flying sorties to Boryspil International Airport outside the Ukrainian capital Kyiv yesterday, taking a route that appeared designed to avoid German airspace after British authorities publicly announced the planned arms shipments. This all comes amid simmering concerns that Russia may be planning to launch a new, large-scale military intervention into Ukraine, fears that have sparked anew as Russian troops flood into neighboring Belarus ostensibly for SNAP exercises next month. German authorities have made clear that they did not ban the British flights from entering their airspace for any reason, and UK officials had not requested permission to send the C-17s over their country on the way to Ukraine in the first place. This was subsequently confirmed by the UK Ministry of Defence. The exact reason or reasons why all of the RAF C-17 flights to Ukraine that have been tracked online so far, two more of which occurred today, have taken the route that skirts Germany remains unclear. The flight path takes the jets out over the North Sea before sending them east across Denmark and into the Baltic Sea. From there, they turn southeast and fly through Poland to Ukraine. The aircraft fly back to the United Kingdom on the same route, just in reverse. On Twitter, Andy Netherwood, a former RAF C-17 pilot, suggested favorable winds or other weather, as well as a possible desire to avoid having to go through entirely normal procedures to secure approval to fly plane loads of munitions across Germany, might be factors. There also remains the possibility that British and German authorities came to an understanding of some kind before the flights even began about not using the latter country's airspace for these flights over diplomatic sensitivities. The current German government has a complex relationship with Russia, most notably over an increasingly controversial gas pipeline project called Nord Stream 2, which is now delayed ostensibly over administrative issues. German officials have faced growing pressure to at least threaten to scrap the project entirely if the Kremlin launches a new invasion of Ukraine. Regardless, the RAF air bridge to Ukraine appears to be continuing steadily into its second day. We have taken the decision to supply Ukraine with light, anti-armor, defensive weapon systems, UK Defence Secretary Ben Wallace told members of the country's parliament yesterday. A small number of UK personnel will also provide early-stage training for a short period of time, within the framework of Operation Orbital before then returning to the United Kingdom. Operational Orbital is the official name of the British military's security assistance mission in Ukraine, which began in 2015 in the aftermath of Russia's seizure of the Crimea region and the Kremlin's subsequent active support for ostensibly local separatists fighting against the government in Kyiv. Let me be clear, this support is for short-range and clearly defensive weapons capabilities. They are not strategic weapons and pose no threat to Russia, Wallace continued. They are to use in self-defense, and the UK personnel providing the early-stage training will return to the United Kingdom after completing it. As for what the C-17s are carrying, British authorities did not specify what anti-armor weapons they are supplying to the Ukrainian military. It has since been confirmed by Ukrainian officials that aircraft are carrying loads of next-generation light anti-tank weapons, NLAW, taken from British stocks. The NLAW, also known as the Main Battle Tank and Light Anti-Tank Weapon, MBT-LAW, is a single-shot infantry anti-tank system consisting of a disposable launcher preloaded with a single guided missile. The weapon can be fired in two distinct modes, direct attack and top attack, in which the NLAW's munition is set to detonate above a tank, where the armor is typically weakest. Regardless, guided anti-tank weapons have long been viewed as an important equalizer for the Ukrainian military in any future large-scale conflict with the Russians, who have a general superiority in quantity and, in some ways, quality, including when it comes to tanks and other heavy armored vehicles. They have also been presented as a deterrent against future Russian aggression for many of the same general reasons. In his remarks to Parliament, UK Defence Secretary Wallace specifically mentioned tanks and armoured fighting vehicles, as well as rocket artillery systems and short-range ballistic missiles, as among the threats that Russia has arrayed along Ukraine's borders in recent months. The Kremlin has deployed tens of thousands of troops to these same areas along with this material. With this in mind, it's not surprising that US-made Javelin anti-tank missiles, highly capable weapons that are fired from a reloadable launch system, unlike NLAW, are often touted as one of the country's more significant defense acquisitions in recent years. Last December, the Ukrainian military showed off the results of a live-fire demonstration of javelins against targets meant to represent Russian tanks fitted with improvised cage armor on top. Russian tanks in this configuration have been spotted in areas along Ukraine's borders in recent months. The US government has sent additional javelins to Ukraine, among other weapons and equipment, and has been looking to put together additional military assistance packages. A number of America's allies and partners beyond the United Kingdom have been doing the same, with Estonia notably taking javelins out of its own stocks to pass along to the Ukrainian military. The Estonians have been looking to send second-hand Soviet-era howitzers and ammunition for them to Ukraine, as well. In addition, infantry anti-tank weapons, especially ones that Ukrainian troops already have experience with like Javelin, represent a valuable boost in capability that can be fielded rapidly. Steeper training requirements are likely among the factors why the government of Ukraine has received much less of a response from its international partners to its appeals to help it bolster its air and missile defense capabilities. The RAF's new air bridge to Ukraine only helps to underscore how time is increasingly not on Ukraine's side. We're now at a stage where Russia could at any point launch an attack on Ukraine, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said today. In recent weeks, more Russian military personnel and hardware have been pouring into Belarus ostensibly for upcoming exercises, to be held in conjunction with the former Soviet state. The joint Russian-Belarusian drills are set to take place along Belarus's southern and western borders, close to both Ukraine and Poland. The exercises will officially start in February and will consist of two phases, the first of which will, at least officially, focus on the basic act of mobilizing large numbers of units in order to defend critical facilities in Belarusian airspace. The second phase of the exercises, which is scheduled to run from February 10 to 20, is officially aimed at preparing forces for suppressing and repelling external aggression in the course of a defensive operation, countering terrorism, and protecting the interests of the Union state, according to Russian Deputy Defense Minister Alexander Fomin. What has already caused concern is the obvious fact that the deployment of more Russian forces to southern Belarus can only put them in a potential position to swing into northern Ukraine. This, in turn, has raised questions about whether these are deployments or actually exercises. This is neither an exercise nor normal troop movement, a senior U.S. State Department official said during a call with reporters today. It is a show of strength designed to cause or give false pretext for a crisis as Russia plans for a possible invasion. And let's be clear, it's extremely dangerous.